Hello friends, I'm George, the nice smelling gentleman. Lately around where I live, the weather has been really bad. It's been cloudy, windy, really cold. It's been raining all the time, and that kind of weather can take its toll on your mood. And usually, when I'm in a bad mood, especially you know because of the weather, I rely on fragrances that I know will just instantly make me feel better. And so in today's video, I'm going to show you 8 such fragrances that I know will instantly, as soon as I spray them, will brighten up my mood. And I bet they can work the same way for you. In this video, I'm going to experiment with a little bit of a different style or a different format of the video. For each fragrance that I'm going to show you in this video, I'm going to go quickly over the main notes of the fragrance, and I'm going to give you for each fragrance 3 pros and 3 cons. In this video there will be a total of 8 fragrances. 4 of them will be cheapies or more affordable fragrances, and 4 of them will be designer, more expensive fragrances. And I'm going to start this list off with a cheapie fragrance from the house of Zara, this Zara Tobacco Collection, Rich, Warm and Addictive. Now the main notes in this fragrance are a boozy rum note, a tobacco note and a vanilla note. Now the pros of this fragrance are that number 1, it's cheap. Number 2, that it's warm and dense. And number 3, that this fragrance is great for cold winter nights. The cons of this fragrance, the sweetness in here can be a bit too cloying. Number 1. Number 2, the mix of tobacco and boozy notes can be a bit off-putting for some people. And the third con for this fragrance, that the performance isn't great. It lasts for about 5 to 6 hours. The second fragrance in today's video is going to be a designer fragrance from the house of Giorgio Armani, Stronger With You Intensely. Now the main notes, the main players in this fragrance are a violet note, a vanilla note, a cinnamon note, a lavender note, tonka bean and amber. Now the 3 pros of this fragrance are, it's number 1, its performance. This thing performs easily over 10 hours and projects really nicely. Number 2, it's a really nice mix of vanilla and cinnamon. And number 3, this thing is perfect for, again, for cold winter nights and creates a really cozy feeling around the person who wears it. Now the cons of this fragrance. The first con, that this can be a bit too sweet for some people. The second con is the price. Giorgio Armani fragrances tend to be on the pricier side. And the third con of this fragrance is the fact that some people may find this scent profile a bit too youthful for their liking. The third fragrance in today's video is going to be another cheapie, this one from the house of Al Haramain, the Al Haramain Detour Noir. The main notes in this fragrance are a nutty almond note, an apple note, a mint note, amber and vanilla. Now on to the pros and cons. The pros of this fragrance. Number 1, the actual scent is really close to Parfum de Marly's Layton. Number 2, the performance of this fragrance. This thing performs really nicely, 9 to 10 hours on my skin with pretty good projection in the first 2 to 3 hours. And pro number 3, the price tag. This thing can be found for really cheap. And now on to the cons of this fragrance. The first and most important con is the fact that this thing, the bottle design of this thing, is really ugly. The second con of this fragrance is that it was a bit too hyped up and can be quite hard sometimes to find. And con number 3 is the fact that some people may find the whole scent profile a little bit too synthetic for their liking. Okay, the fourth fragrance in today's video is going to be another designer fragrance, and I just cannot do a cozy type of fragrance list without mentioning this fragrance from Viktor&Rolf, the Spicebomb Extreme. Now, the main notes in this fragrance are, of course, vanilla, spices and tobacco. And now on to the pros and cons of this fragrance. The pros. Pro number 1, very unique scent that at least used to be very unique when this was launched. Pro number 2, performance. This thing easily lasts 9 to 10 hours on my skin with pretty good projection in the first about 2 hours. And number 3, the compliment factor. This thing will get you compliments for sure pretty much every time you're wearing it. And now on to the cons. First con is the price and availability. Another designer fragrance that's more on the pricier side and sometimes can be a bit hard to find. Number two, the fact that there have been a lot of rumors about batches and reformulation. Some people are complaining about the performance of newer batches, although I cannot complain, but some people do. And number three, the fact that the sweetness in this fragrance for some guys can be off-putting because it can be perceived as a unisex fragrance. The fifth fragrance in today's video is going to be another cheapie, this one from the house of Lattafa, the Lattafa Ramz Silver. For those who don't know, this is a clone of Jean Paul Gaultier's Ultra Mauve. The main notes in this fragrance are just like with the original, a pure note, a lavender note, a cardamom note, and a vanilla note with some woodsy notes as well. The pros and cons: pro number one, the price tag. This thing can be found for dirty cheap. Pro number two, how close this is to the original Jean Paul Gaultier's Ultra Mauve scent, especially in the opening. And pro number three, the nice blend of sweetness and woods that can be found in this fragrance, especially on the dry down, where it differs a little bit to the original Ultra Mauve. Now on to the cons. Con number one, the ugly bottle design, really plain looking with ugly bottle, with ugly cap as well. Con number two, the projection of this thing. It's sweet and quite long lasting, but it's a bit softer on the projection side. And con number three, some people may find the scent in here a bit too synthetic for their liking. Fragrance number 6 in today's video, a designer one, this one from the house of Jean Paul Gaultier Le Mot Le Parfum. The main notes in this fragrance are cardamom, lavender, iris, and vanilla. The pros of this fragrance: number one, the beautiful scent profile, a very nice mix of that very dark and beautiful mix of vanilla, cardamom, and lavender with the touch of iris in there. Pro number two, very long lasting. On my skin this lasts over 12 hours without any problem pretty much every time I'm wearing it. And number three, the pro number three, the compliment factor. I get compliments with this fragrance every time I'm wearing it, and you also get compliments if you go for Le Mot Le Parfum. Now onto the cons of this fragrance. Some people may find this DNA a bit too dated because it carries quite a lot of similarities to the original Le Mot. Con number two is the price. Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances usually are on the pricier side. And con number three for me personally is the bottle design. I've never been too fond of the bottle design of the Le Mot fragrances. The seventh fragrance in today's video is going to be another cheapie, or let's call it affordable fragrance, again from the house of Lattafa, the Lattafa Ameer Oudh Intense. The main notes in this fragrance are oud notes, vanilla, and incense. Now onto the pros and cons. Pro number one is the performance. Easily 8-9 hours with pretty good projection in the first 2 hours. Pro number two, the price. This can be found for really cheap if you do enough research. And pro number three is the scent profile. Some people may consider this profile to be sort of a niche type of a scent profile. Now onto the cons of this fragrance. Some people may find the scent profile a bit too smoky because of the heavy incense note in here. Con number two, some people may find the scent profile a bit too synthetic for their liking. And con number three is the versatility. This is another fragrance that's very well suited only for the colder months of the year. And the last fragrance in today's video, at number 8, the Pure Havane from Mugler. Now, of course, the main notes in this fragrance are honey, tobacco, vanilla, cacao, and patchouli. Now, onto the pros and cons. Pro number one, the fantastic and unique scent profile of this fragrance. Pro number two is the performance of this fragrance, especially the older batches. They are absolutely beast mode. And the pro number three is because of that unique and fantastic scent profile. It just creates a super cozy feeling around the person who wears this one. Now onto the cons of this fragrance. Con number one is the fact that this fragrance has been discontinued for quite a while and it's very hard to find. Con number two is the price tag. Because this fragrance has been discontinued for so long now, you have to pay pretty much outrageous prices to get the bottle of this fragrance. And con number three for me is the bottle design and the fact that the sprayer design as well, which pretty much doesn't work half of the time. And so guys, in today's video I showed you 8 fragrances that always cheer me up whenever I'm using them. I also experimented a little bit with the structure of this video. I hope that you found this video interesting or entertaining. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, stay safe, and I'm gonna see you in my next video. Bye bye.